All right, there we go. We are starting. So happy Tuesday, everybody. It's June the 14th, 2022. The first thing we'll look at is going to be ES futures. Remember, this is my little crystal ball into the market itself. My go-to for today, as I said in the notes, is going to be the daily edges, the YE, the yearly edge, okay? And then the 30-minute. All right, but I'm going to walk you through just really quickly, not as slow as yesterday, since I've already given you that intro. But I want to show you where we are in the market itself. Again, just as a reminder, this is my looking glass for the entire market. This means if I were to go long on any stock, my overall sentiment for the ES is kind of how I feel the stock will do as well. Okay. All right, so on the weekly here, you can see that we had an inside and down. Notice this is your inside candle. Let me go ahead and point that out to you. It came into the weekly cloud. This cloud is resistance until proven otherwise. We pushed all the way down and we finally hit our target yesterday of the yearly edge. Notice we hit here. We actually flushed it, and I even said that I was looking for the flush. I would prefer the flush, and then I would like to see the reclaim. One thing that I would like to point out when we're talking about the yearly edges, okay? When we're talking about the yearly edges, this is a very high time frame. This means we are finding a ballpark area of a demand level on a higher time frame. This means that it's going to take a little while for price to actually build here and then move up. Typically, you're looking for leap trades, 6 months out and so forth. Sometimes we can get a move very quickly, especially in this market. And then you look back and you go, wow, man, the yearly edge really worked very quickly. All right. But I want to remind everybody, because just because we're at the YE doesn't mean that we're going to move up. What it means for me is that we possibly maybe dip a little bit more. We go sideways, we create a base here, and in July, August timeframe, we actually build some sort of base going into that earnings cycle. Okay. I do believe that earnings cycle would not be good. That's just my thought, and that's my opinion for right now. But I would like to still trade stocks into the earnings cycle. A lot of times when stocks pull back quite a bit, they start to round out and move up into earnings. I believe last earnings that didn't really pan out so well. Okay. But usually it does. Anyways, so the weekly, the cloud is resistance. We're underneath the YE. As far as the weekly is concerned, we would not go inside as an inside week unless this were to hammer out. And by the end of this week, this would actually look like this. Okay, and we would close inside. Okay, so if I were you, I'd stick an alert right here underneath this previous week. And if we start to break above there, you'll already know this is super bullish. All right, this would be a beautiful hammer from the YE, the yearly edge. All right, there's an idea there. Now, if we never get over the YE and build any kind of base, then we continue to chop sideways and down. Let's go ahead and move to the daily really quick. The daily is an inside candle. So, far as the daily is concerned, I would create an alert just about right here. And if we break down below here, guess what? We're no longer inside on the daily. That's not a good look. See, when we're not inside on the daily, we do this. This is called continuation candles. Continuation candles in the direction that they're going. Continuation down. Okay? With oil being as strong as it is, it's up at $2.25 at the moment, folks. It's 123.18. I can't help but to feel a little nauseous to my stomach. It wasn't like a whole lot of money going down to the keys as far as the car is concerned. But I mean, I only filled up 3 times, and I think it ended up costing me $350, somewhere in there. And I only drove 700 miles, something like that. So a lot more than it used to be, that's for sure. Anyway, so actually 4 continuation candles down. We're currently inside. Now we have an alert set if we break down below that and it's no longer an inside day. And then we have an alert set to the upside. And what this means is that we are actually going inside on the weekly. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move into the 4-hour. This one's very important. And as you can see on the 4-hour, I want to point out something very quickly to you. and we have these three green circles. Basically, these are your daily edges, okay? Notice right here, this is your yearly edge. When price is underneath an edge, look for it to be resistance. Everybody understand that? I think you all do. This is an edge. This is resistance. Notice how price has moved up into the YE and broken down. This right here, the lower daily edge, is your support. Okay? So if we were going to grade the market off of what I'm telling you right now, what would we say? We would say that the market is basically caught between resistance and support, and they are pretty close. Okay? So you can take this information and you could say to yourself, like if you were waking up in the morning and you weren't a part of Trendy Trading, and you could identify these levels, you could wake up and say to yourself, hey, I think that this could be a choppy day. Would you guys agree with that? Just because we're so close to each one of these. So far as a long-term trade, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on it, what would happen. You see what I'm saying? Like, because in my mind, I've already made it up that we're basically range bound, okay? Until either one of these starts to show that we can either break above the yearly edge and hold it for a day or two, or we start to break down below the support, take out the low, then guess what? We continue down to lower targets, okay? This is how we analyze the market with just technicals, leave the news out of it, and guess what? I believe that things start to look a little bit easier to trade. All right. Now let's go to the 30-minute. I told you this is going to be our go-to, and we are going to continue to use this as the go-to. If you're a day trader, which I think I was talking to one of you guys, I don't see you in here this morning, but if you hear this, you'll know I'm talking about you. But they were up until 1:30, 2 o'clock yesterday or the day before trading, and that's what some future traders do. They make all their money at night and early in the morning, and you might not see them in here. So if you were a trader of the futures, you would have noticed that we came into the target, and right before close yesterday, I said, you know what, I'm going to hold off because I would much rather see a red to green. Currently, we're sitting at 17 points. To me, in this volatile market, that's actually pretty flat. But it's up almost $2 in the SPY. So you know that our levels worked very well, but they really worked when you were sleeping, maybe when most of you were sleeping. If you look at the time here, this was like, depending on where you were, anywhere between 12:30 and 3 o'clock at night. This is the daily edge though, and I want to show you just how beautiful those edges are. See, I would imagine that most likely my signals were firing off, okay? Meaning, I can't make this up, that you were able to take a trade right here on a buy signal above the cloud, and look at this. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful, held the cloud. And remember, what do I tell you? If you're in this trade, where are you going to look for your targets? Well, the first thing you'll look for is the blueprint. That's going to be the YE. Notice it hits the YE, it pulls back, but the cloud holds you. Then we break through that YE, the cloud holds you. You do get sell signals, but what are the rules? They're my rules, but you can make up your own rules. I don't necessarily want to take a down arrow above a cloud, right? I don't want to take a down arrow above a cloud unless there's an edge there. Everybody understand that? Unless there's some form of Fibonacci, an edge, a supply zone, something like that. So this wouldn't mean much to me, because if I went short here, as a long trader, I want this to hold. So if you went short here, you're going to get stopped out right away. All right. Notice this. We keep going around and boom, right into the daily edge, which this was here. Okay. This was here overnight. And you could see the edge worked very well. It comes right back down to the YE and works very well. I can't make this stuff up, folks. All this stuff is here. And at the end of the day, if you just try to trade the levels and look at where price is, are we above the level? Are we below the level? Okay. Moving on. We move all the way back down. We're almost down to the lower daily edge, and I just spoke about that a while ago. We're basically caught between these levels, and it looks pretty choppy. Remember, after any big day, whether it be up or whether it be down, in most cases, we digest, okay? What makes it hard is the digesting of the stock price itself or the ES futures. It could still be volatile and you can get really big swings and you can really miss out if you're just trying to be patient and you'll create what's called FOMO, right? Because look at this range. I mean, this is where we went down yesterday. Matter of fact, I think we dropped about 145, 150 points. That's a lot. $15 in the SPY. That means even on a relief bounce, and let's say that it's ugly, where it's very volatile, okay, you can still make it all the way up to about 50%, and look back and go, man, I missed a huge move today. But I'm going to tell you this. This is, again, my own opinion, but also brought to you from a lot of experience. On a digesting day with volatility included and a big range like this, if you are watching the tick for tick, you are going to get smashed. Okay? You're going to get smashed. I'm just going to be confident and say that to you. If you want to take a trade and you have a bias and you believe that we continue up and maybe we hit the edge again at 38.07 and maybe we continue up here towards the 38.29, then take a trade that you're comfortable with, place a stop, place a target, and walk away. Go enjoy your life, right? Kids, you got to feed them, got to drop them off, got to play with them, right? Stay at home dads, stay at home moms, people that run businesses, people that are at home. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Have the confidence to take a trade. And the part that's going to make you confident is that you understand how much money you can lose, right? Place your stops, place your targets, live your life between those two lines. Don't find yourself at the computer all the time trying to guess what every 5-minute direction is going to take you. It's going to drive you insane. That's why we talk about the beach trade. For me, that means going out on the dock. I actually made my wife make me a to-do list, folks, and it is a long one. Let's see here. I probably have about 15 things I need to do today. So once I take a trade, then I have to be confident. I know that there is only one constant that happens in the market, and that is you will lose money. I'm very confident with that, right? So that's the worst thing that can happen. No one's going to take away my birthday, right? No one's taking away my birthday. I'm happy. I'm alive. I have my voice today. I'm here with you folks, right? I'm very happy. So take the trade, know where your stops are. Try to be a little bit wider because volatility for anyone that's new, Dash, nice to see you in here again. Volatility means that the stock is going to move a lot more than it usually does. See, the implied move might look like something like this, whereas it used to be that the market would move like this. So if you place your stops here, they're going to get busted over and over here. So the way I like this with the options is maybe a further out of the money, and or if you're at the money or something like that, my stops are a little bit wider than normal. Let's say that my number is 1,000 and I buy $1,000 worth of options, okay? And that's what I typically do. Maybe I do a little bit less, okay? Maybe a little bit less just because of the volatility right now, all right? All right, let's go ahead and move on. That's ES futures. Again, daily edges are in play. I gave you those numbers. Please go back there and take a look at them if you do not have the scripts themselves. And the YE. So the bottom daily edge for right now, 37.51.5, and your YE are the closest that are in play at the moment. Once the market opens, I would be using the PMZ. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the NASDAQ really quick. All right, here's the NASDAQ. I would have to tell you that the same thing is in play. Yeah, the daily edges. Notice last night we pushed up. Nice little move. Probably had some buy signals in here. Price did move very close to the mid daily edge, but not quite. Okay. The 4H is very close to the cloud, so very close to resistance at the moment. Not at the moment, sorry. We still have quite a ways to go. But this is also a double inside at the moment. It'll be an inside and down. If we start to break around 11,410, then it starts to go inside and down. but your support is going to be that 11,344.75. Anytime that we're dealing with daily edges, folks, anytime we're dealing with daily edges, the reason why I'm choosing to go with daily edges is because I expect it to be choppy. And your daily edges in most cases are the closest edges that you can trade off of. All right. The idea here is that the closer you get to one of those edges, that's the play that you're going to take. For example, on NASDAQ or QQQ, and I'll show you SPY and QQQ here in a second, the closer we get to this level, I want you to take your bracket trade, right? So you know what that stop looks like, you know what the entry looks like for your particular trade. You would look to go long, okay? If we were to move up and you're a patient trader and you're not trying to speculate in here, as we move up into the higher end of the curve or the edges that are above, we look to go short, okay, with a bracket trade. All right. So long towards the bottom here and short towards the top here. Or if you don't like going short and you're long, then you look to be trimming into these edges to the upside. Okay. Let's go over here to the SPY and the Qs. This is what it looks like so far. So price came down into that target yesterday. This is what made me almost take the trade into close. And just so I can tell you guys, one thing that I fight with as you know, your moderator or your coach or the owner at Trendy Trading is that a lot of times I talk myself into taking trades that I don't need to take. Seriously, like for me, I have Amazon. If the market's going to go up, why do I need to buy SPY? You feel me? Like I don't have to do that. But a lot of times I find myself doing things like that just so that I can give you a trade, and that stuff has to stop, you know? And so I want to more or less just teach you, and I want to be able to manage what I have in my account without getting overextended in my account. Doesn't mean I won't take SPY again. I'm just telling you, I came to an ultimatum yesterday. I'm like, well, you know, I might make some money here, but I also will make money in Amazon if we continue to move up. All right, or I can add into Amazon. All right. So anyways, with SPY, this is your support right now down here at 373.63. If we break over 377.69, that's your support. Then your resistance is the next target. Okay. Same thing over here on the Qs. It's a little bit different. So check this out. Just a little bit of information for you. I didn't have anything per se. I could use this candle structure, this inside and up here, as my support. But what I did was I give you this number down here, this future weekly edge here. All right, so I'm saying 275.5 is your support. All right, and then your resistance is going to be this 280.16, 282.41, and so forth. All right. All right. So let's take a look at Amazon really quick. Again, this is a long ways out. So I'm not, you know, that concerned about it. I'm more or less like, when do I want to add to it? You know, I'd rather add when things are dropping. So if indeed the market is just another day, Groundhog Day, where we push up into resistance and then it fades, then I will be looking at adding Amazon somewhere between 99 and, you know, 80, somewhere in here in this box down here. Now, what if it breaks out and we don't get a pullback to 100 and I never see that again? Well, we are at the monthly edge, right? And the ES came into the yearly edge, and that's why I started the position. Okay. If we start to break out over on a higher time frame, you know, start to maybe get over, I don't know, 110, then I'll be looking at possibly adding again. Okay. So that's Amazon. As far as any other things that are out there, I think I want to keep my concentration very, very focused. SPYs, Qs, Amazon, and then we have SMH as well. So SMH, okay, I went short on this one. Let's see where we're at. It's up $2.62. I bought 2 weeks out, and it's a spread. Okay. What I don't want, you can see here on the pre-market, it's at 214. That 50, the 50 fib, okay, right there. Let's go to the weekly. If it starts to build value over this, I talked about this yesterday. If it starts to build value over 215 and a half or so, and we stay there, I'll probably end up closing it. regardless if it's only down a little bit. Okay, because it could run and the market could start an upcycle and move all the way back up towards 227, 230 before it fades again. And I really don't want to be in a position and looking at it every day going, oh, I should have just cut it at 20, 30%, right? So we got to manage the best we can. Don't focus on losers and percentages. I'm going to be making some videos out there, like I said, about the psychology of trading. I can't wait to push those out for you guys. They're going to be in the newsletters and so forth. I hope those can help you. All right. And this is what helps me stay in trades and cut these trades. All right. All right, as far as like, let's look at something that's been strong, right? I almost went short Apple yesterday, and I should have when it was, when it was only down $2.60 because I think it ended up dropping a couple bucks, but it came into our target. It started to look pretty good. You can see pre-market is trying to move back out of the target, and a lot of these, if I were to look at the 30-minute cloud's really, I think, where you want to go to during the cycle this week. If we start to break over the 30-minute, you can see it's almost in line with my target. I love the confluence here. Then possibly we can start to break out a little bit. All right, and you could see 136.44. All right, again, my overall sentiment, guys, is choppy to up. What I mean by that is any level, I don't care what chart you're looking at, if you have an edge below, that's going to be your support, and it's going to be choppy. But no matter what it does, try not to concentrate on your percentage of your position and just concentrate on the process itself. If you have an edge here, choppy could mean that, hey, we get like a really big wick, but then price actually closes up here and does this, and then it whips all the way back down but makes a higher low. It does this kind of, stuff, and then at some point we start to move up. That would be choppy to up, and most people will get hammered right in here. So again, concentrate on the bigger picture. Bigger picture meaning your stop, the bigger picture meaning your targets, bigger picture living your life between the two. Okay? All right, let's look at AMD. T79 was in here yesterday talking about AMD, and I just kind of wanted to go over it. We got very close to hitting the target to the downside, and yesterday he was looking at going long, and he made a little bit of money off of it. The idea here is when you create zones is that you wait for them. It takes a very disciplined trader to wait because you feel like it might not get hit, and so you miss out. Same thing goes with futures, guys. If I'm giving you levels, the idea is to wait for a level or you don't trade. That's just how it goes. Okay? You don't have to. I'm not telling you you have to. That's why I created other scripts like the PMZ, the signals, and so forth. If you want to go towards that, you can. But the idea, without all my scripts, the just kind of the plain Jane, here's a zone. You wait for your zones before you execute. Okay? You don't have to. Just trying to teach you. All right? But this is AMD. It could pop up towards 90 or so. I'd prefer that it get down into the edges before I do anything. Today will be tricky because, 27 points up, people start to feel a little FOMO. One thing that helps me is I go, wait a minute, we were down 150 points yesterday and we're up 20, 25. Whoop-de-doo, you know? So that's how I like to look at it. All right, guys. So we're right here. We're going to open up. I'm going to pull up the SPY, and I can't take anything. Anything can come to me, and I'll end up taking it. Remember, a lot of you have TradingView scripts as well. Let's see here. Don't forget that I have all sorts of different scanners on my Thinkorswim. If I wanted to, I could pull ACDC Bull. I could pull ACDC Bear. I can do edge scanners. There's all kinds of things that I can scan and look for to take any trade. I have PMZ scans as well, and those also help. So just be prepared. If for some reason I take a trade, you don't know why I took it, and I forget to put a chart in there, just ask me, okay? So give me 4 more minutes. I'm going to heat up some coffee, get ready for the opening bell. And I really appreciate you guys being here. Remember, please participate if you're here, if you have time. If there's something you're looking at, let the group know. It might be something I'm not looking at, but it works out very, very well. We're all here to kind of like bounce ideas off of each other, you know? So don't be afraid. I mean, you're not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. We're just traders, and we could take a look at things and go, man, what a great call. And then we get into it. That's camaraderie, right? That's teamwork. And then we can all make money.